Hello guys, we are starting today with a very important topic, partition values. But before actually starting the chapter partition values, there are some basic points that we need to understand in this chapter because it is a part which is related to statistics. Now, whenever you talk about statistics, the very first and the most important thing that we should be knowing is something called as data. So now, what exactly is data? Set of given information related to some characteristic is called as a data. Now, when you talk about the characteristic, there can be two kinds of characteristics. It can be the quantitative data, or it can be the qualitative data. Now, when we talk about the partition values, it will all be related to the quantitative data. But the question is, what is a quantitative data? Quantitative data is the measurable characteristics, or I can also say as countable characteristic. Like for example, your salary, the height of a person, the temperature of an area, or you can also talk about countable. So it can be say number of friends that you have, or number of floors of a particular tower, or number of houses in a particular floor. It can be anything. So either countable or measurable. They all come under the quantitative data. Now, when you talk about the qualitative data, it is generally called as attributes. So when you talk about the attributes, it can be, let us say, nationality of an a person. It can be the gender. It can be the employment. Means those characteristics which you cannot count or which you cannot measure, they come under attributes or qualitative data because they are the qualities. You are an Indian, you are an NRI, so that is your quality. You are a male or a female, is a quality. But when you talk about the salary, you can count how much money that you are getting, or you can measure the height of a person, or you can measure the temperature of a particular locality or area. That kind of all characteristics, they come under the quantitative data. Now, when we are talking about the partition values, they will be completely based on the quantitative data. A very few questions you might also observe on the attributes, but again, those attributes will also be converted into the numbers by applying the frequency. Means number of people who are Indian, number of people who are not Indian, number of males, number of females, number of workers, so they are given the frequencies so that they can be converted into the numerical data for analysis or for calculation purpose. Now, when we talk about the data, there are basically three types of data. The first one that we have is something called as raw data. So now what is a raw data? If only observations are given with the commas, it is a raw data. Like for example, it can be information on the marks of the students. Someone scoring 75, someone scoring 79, someone else is getting 82, somebody else might get 94, 97, 87, and so on. So over here you observe that only the values of the marks are given. We are not having any other information about who has got that, how many students have got 75, how many students have got 97. Then such a data will always be called as a raw data. One more example I can give you. Let us say about the heights of the children. Let me consider in centimeters. It can be 55 centimeters, 60 centimeters, 65 centimeters, 70 centimeters. So when you are given the information only about the heights, that the heights are 55, 60, 65, 70, 75 and so on, then such a data will be again called as a raw data. The second type of data that we have over here is called as ungrouped data, or maybe you can also call it as the discrete data. Now what happens over here is that if observations are given with corresponding frequency values, then it is an ungrouped data. Suppose if I take an example for this, if I consider the same example about the heights in centimeters along with the number of children. Let us take the heights as 55 centimeters, 60 centimeter, 65, 70 and 75. Along with the corresponding number of children, let us say 3, 7, 10, 6, and 4. So this kind of presentation of data is called as a ungrouped data because these are the observations and these are the frequency values. So this becomes your ungrouped data. The next one that we have is called as the grouped data. Now in case of group data, classes of an observation will be given to you with the corresponding frequency values. Then it is called as a group data. Once again, I'll take an example for this. Let us say we are given the information about the salaries of the workers in rupees and the number of workers. Let us say 500 to 1000, 1000 to 1500, 1500 to 2000, 2000 to 2500, and so on. With the number of workers, let us say 5, 9, 12, and let us say 6. So over here, I am given the classes of the observation, which is the salary over here, and these are your corresponding frequency values. So this will be my required group data. So guys, it is very important for us to understand what exactly is the type of data which is given to you in the question, because based on that only you would be able to apply the corresponding formula for a certain partition value that we will be covering in our further videos. So now before actually once again going to the partition value, I want to take you to a small basic that you have studied in your smaller classes related to something called as the median. Now, when we talk about the median, we say that it is middlemost observation of data which divides the data into two equal parts. Now, suppose if you have a scale, let us say from 0 to 50, then the middlemost value, which is the central value, 25, as you all know, it breaks or divides the data into two equal parts. So this value can be called as the median. So whenever you talk about the median, the first and the most important thing that we need to remember over here is that data should always be in the ascending order. Whatever is the type of data, raw data, discrete data, or ungrouped data, as you say, or it is the group data, whichever data that you are thinking about, it is necessary to find the median that the data is given to you in the ascending order. If it is not given, it is again a basic thing. You can always arrange the data in the ascending order or from the smaller value to the greater value. Now let us proceed on to the formulas. We will be studying the formulas for the median depending on the type of the data that you are given in the question. Now, because there are three types of data, we will be studying three different formulas based on the median. The first one is for the raw data. Over here, I can say that median is given by n plus 1 upon the 2th observation, where n, as you all know, is the number of observations. It can be even or odd. For both the cases, this is the only formula that we have to remember. There is no different formula for the different number of observations. Whether you are working on the even number of observations or you are working on the odd number of observations, the formula always remains the same. So we have to remember only one formula. And let us see how to apply this formula with the help of an example. Suppose if I get a data asking us find the median for 20, 25, 17, 24, 32, 20. So in this particular case, the first thing that I will be doing is to arrange the data in the ascending order. I have to say over here, the ascending order is obviously from small to big. So the first value that I have over here is 17, 18, Then after that, I can see the number 20, it is coming for 2 times. So if any number is being repeated twice or thrice, we have to consider that observation for that much number of times. Then comes 24, 25, and after that, the last value that comes over here is 30. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I can say that n is equal to 7. So because n is 7, I can say that median is equal to, always have a habit of writing the formulas. So it is n plus 1 upon 2th value or the observation, whatever we say, both are acceptable. So that is 8 upon 2th value, which is nothing but the fourth value in the ascending order. Then it is first, second, third, and the fourth. So the number is 20. So I can easily say over here that the median value over here is equal to 20. Let us understand one more example for the median. And here I am trying to take the even number of observations. And in case if we are having even number of observations, how we have to calculate the median? Once again, the first thing over here also I have to do is that I will take the ascending order. Now over here, when you're talking about ascending order, the smallest value over there is 8. After 8, I can see that number 10 is coming for 2 times. So 10 and 10. After 10, the next number that you have is 12, 15, then 17. After that, the next is 20 and 25. So if you observe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So there are 8 observations. So now guys, listen very carefully how we calculate the median for this. I will not be using any another formula. Again, the same formula that I just now gave you. Median is equal to n plus 1 upon the 2th observation or the value, which over here comes out to be equal to 9 upon 2th observation. Okay guys, so how do we calculate the median for this particular data? This will be equal to 4.5th observation. So how do I calculate the 4.5th observation? Just understand very carefully. This is broken into 2 parts like this. I take the 4th observation, whatever it is in the ascending order directly, plus 0.5 multiplied by difference between 5th and the 4th observation. Now why do I do it like this? Let me see with the help of a small number line. Suppose if you have a small scale, let us say where you are just having the values 4 and 5, and obviously the 4.5 value is over here at a distance of 0.5 units after 4. So if it is at a distance of 0.5 units after 4, so it is covering a difference of 0.5 units after the 4th observation. So because the difference over here is of 0.5 between the 4th and the 5th observation, so we are just doing the same thing. We are multiplying that difference with 0.5. But we have to remember one thing, that this difference is taken from the ascending order of the observations. So when I have over here the 4th observation, it is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th, which is nothing but 12 plus 0.5 into difference between these both. So 5th observation over here that we have is 15. So 15 minus 12, that is 12 plus 0.5 multiplied by 3. 3 into 0.5 is going to be 1.5. So 12 plus 1.5 is going to give you 13.5 is the required value for the median. Let's understand one more example for median when the number of observations is an even number. So in this case, once again, I will first find the ascending order. So the smallest observation that is available over here is 30. Next that you have is 35, then is 37. After that, the next value that we have is 42, and then it is 46. After that, we have the value as 51, 52, 55, and 59. And the last number, of course, is 60. So if you count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 10th value, I have the number of observations is 10, which is once again an even number. So again, guys, you have to apply the same logic for calculating the median. You have to say over here, median is equal to n plus 1 upon the 2th observation, which is 11 upon 2th observation, and I write it as 5.5th observation. So just as I did in the previous case, guys, I will again split it into two parts by writing it like this. Fifth observation will be as it is, and yes, you got it right. It will be multiplied with difference between the sixth observation minus the fifth observation. Once again, I am repeating. Why am I doing it like this? Because if you take a simple scale from between 5 and 6, I require 5.5th observation, which is somewhere over here. So this has covered a difference of 0.5 values between the fifth and the sixth observation. So because this difference has been covered between fifth and the sixth observation, so I am just multiplying that additional value of 0.5 with the difference between the same two numbers, sixth observation and the fifth observation. Now one thing that you have to remember very carefully over here is that never take it as fifth observation minus the sixth observation because the values are there in the ascending order. So if you take it as fifth minus sixth, it will become a negative number. And if you take it as sixth minus fifth, you will get a proper positive number with the help of which you will get an accurate answer. So over here, this will be equal to first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. That is nothing but 46 plus 0.5 multiplied by, you have to use these both numbers. So 51 minus 46. 51 minus 46 is 5. So I get 46 plus 0.5 into 5. 46 plus 2.5, which is 48.5. So my friends, that is the required value for the median.